And sorry about that. Honestly, sorry about that. Welcome in to the stream. Sorry I had to kick it down and then kick it back up. But Restream had glitched out, or not glitched out, just kind of crashed on me and then not said anything. So, yay. We are back, though. We are back. We are live. And I am a papa. Chat. So not this past week, but 2 Saturdays ago. So he's 9 days old now. 9 days ago, my son was born. And I am having the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. I am over the moon, man. When they say you can't explain it, right? And that it just kind of, like when you meet them, you know, everything changes and stuff. It's just that they were right. Like, I was like, oh, how am I going to do my stuff? Like, how am I going to do my show on Mondays? And how am I going to do Foul Territory? And how am I going to do like my podcast and stuff? How am I going to keep working on my YouTube videos? How am I not going to have all this time to myself? And then the moment I made eye contact with him, I was like, I don't care about any of that. I could not make anything ever again, and it's cool because you're here. Like, it was that close. It was that fast. That close. That fast. And Trevor's getting a dad bod now. Had it. I've already had that dad bod for a while, man. I'm fat. You just wait till my next YouTube video comes out, guys. You can see how fat I am. Like, I got a tire coming in, and I wore a striped shirt like an idiot. And filmed in 4K like an idiot. CMJ, 42 months in a row. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for the brand new 42-month-old sub. Appreciate it. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Dale. You asked about sleep. So, sleep's been good. Honestly, my worst night of sleep was probably last night, and that's just because I was excited about doing the show. Like, I woke up at like 6:15 and with my alarm set for like 7 because it was like I just really excited to do the show today. Also, t-shirt arrived. Your dad says super comfy. Hell yeah, Danny. Also, big shout out to Danny. Big shout out to Emily too, because they had their birthdays recently, guys. I know I mentioned them last time when it was our birthday, when it was my birthday, and I did it. The last show we did was on my birthday. But here we are again. I just want to make sure that 2 weeks ago, it was their birthday. So, Trevor talked about Dodgers Padres from last night. I've only been live for 5 minutes, so no, we are not there yet. But we will chat. We will chat about it. We're gonna catch up on a lot of playoff stuff. I have a really interesting main topic today, main breakdown. There's 2 main things I want to make sure I get to. Jesus Christ. There's 2 main things I want to make sure I get to today, and that is, one, someone asked a phenomenal question, and I'm going to actually give him a shout-out right now. In the questions for Trevor section, Jay Crafter, you're here. Thank you so much. But they asked about playoff shares and playoff bonuses. How do playoff bonuses work in the major leagues? This is a phenomenal topic for a breakdown. I happen to know a whole bunch about it. I can give you all the details and take you inside of that decision-making process so you can fully understand how playoff shares work and how playoff revenue sharing works. And, you know, I know we talk about owners a lot and you know, poke a little fun at them. We're going to do it again because you'll see why owners want more playoff games. That's pretty clear. Oakland wear their playoff shoes. Niles, they made the playoffs literally 3 years ago. You know, like maybe Oakland's actually not the one to make fun of for not making the playoffs, considering they made the playoffs like 7 out of 10 years up until recently. It's a great question. The clubhouse got lives. Guys, lives could change. Yes, we were going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to do a. I want to do a deep dive, or I want to do a preparing to face a hitter again, like we did for Ohtani a couple weeks ago. We're going to do it for Aaron Judge, because the Yankees are playing they're playing today. They're up 1-0 in the series. Aaron Judge is, you know, they have Juan Soto, but for all intents and purposes, the scariest hitter, not only in that lineup, but in the entire major leagues for the most part. So, I'd like to talk about that as well. Those are the things that I want to make sure I get. We got some news, but filtered around that. So we'll probably start the show by just going in and recapping playoffs. I have a few moments that I want to talk about that are like teaching moments that are really interesting. Namely, I want to talk about game one, Schilt deciding to walk Mookie Betts in a 2-2 count after a wild pitch, which was crazy to me. I understand the thinking behind it, but I want to talk about it. I want to talk about Severino versus Harper yesterday in his third at bat. I want to talk about that. That's really interesting. And then I want to break down the Pete Alonso homer, go-ahead home run against the Brewers. John Boy did a phenomenal breakdown of it. He seemed very excited. He noticed a tip. And I have a little bit more information. I have a little bit more insider information on how that all went down. And I'd like to share that with you as well. So we're going to talk about those things. But we'll also, like, if you guys have questions about predicting the rest of the playoffs, whatever, we'll do this in the first hour of the show. We'll devote like the second hour of the show all to the let me break down the postseason stuff and Aaron Judge and things. So a lot of stuff to talk about today. Also, if you don't have the nastiest pitches in Discord, nastiest pitches of the week, I want them for the playoffs. We only have there's only about 8 or 9 in here. So we might just put it off for another week because we will be back week after week with the schedule now. This is protected time, these 2 hours in the morning. So I'm really excited about it. Marcy, 54 months, what up? Oh, you guys asked me what his name is? His name is Madsen, guys. We named him Madsen. I can tell you his name. It's not it's a name. I'm gonna say his name at some point, just assuming you guys all know it. So might as well tell you. Joey Murder with a brand new subscription. Ooh, what kind of subscription though? This is important. Oh my God, it's a Prime sub. You used a Prime Gaming sub on me. Thank you so much. It's so funny. I don't know. Is it called Prime Gaming? Considering I don't play games. Woo! That's how, not after Bumgarner, right? Well, Madison Bumgarner's name is Madison, and Madsen May is named Madsen. They're different names. Mads, for short. His name is Gary. How'd you know? What if we just named him Kevin? Tyler. We're thinking about Aiden. At least it's not Keith. True. I'm just kidding. Those are all great names, guys. I'm named Trevor. Like, what room do I have to make fun of anyone else's name? But I thought Kevin, baby Kevin, is just funny. Like Ryan Madsen, yes. It's spelled like Ryan Madsen, yes. Kate liked Madsen or Madison. I liked Mads, like Mads Mikkelsen. I just wanted Mads, M-A-D-S. So she's like, "What about Madsen?" I was like, pfft. Hot dog, hot dog. Imagine looking at a beautiful new baby, maybe Newt Gingrich. Actually, Newt's name is Newton. So, actually, to be honest, baby Newton isn't actually that ugly of a name. That's super cute. It would get ugly quick, but little Newton, I don't know. Calling him Newt, a baby named Newt is actually kind of cute. Gingrich, not so much. Will you touch on the John Boy Braden discourse? Ooh, Braden. Dallas Braden? No, I don't even know what's happening in lieu of flowers. I didn't even hear about that. Would you do me a favor? Go into the in lieu of flowers. We go into Discord and put it in the chat, like the link in the baseball general, so I can look at it? Mitch Garver has a son named Gamble, which I actually love. What music is this? What are we listening to right now? What is this? Oh, okay, this counts. I guess it's okay. But just like we always do, guys, the first 10 to 15 minutes of the show is just letting everyone filter in so we can get into our topics. So that's what we're doing. We're just killing a little bit of time. So appreciate it. I will probably go run to the restroom really quickly before we start so I can just kind of sit and go because I have to pee again. I have to go. After Oscar Gamble? I don't know. You'll have to ask him. I don't know. He didn't tell me where it came from. I just know his name. I couldn't hear much of what you said about the name because of this cold I have, and honestly thought you said you named your child Mets. I did not. I did not name him Mets. Speaking of, though, the Mets are crazy. His middle name's Robert, guys. I know I'm giving you his full name, but like Bob, Mad Bob. I want him to have the nickname Mad Bob. He has no choice in the matter. Also, I cannot wait to see what the first round money is going to be like in 2040. You know what I mean? I said that to Kate, and she's like, dude, what are you talking about? Babe, what do you think the first round slot's going to be in 2040? What do you think the first round slot money is going to be? You like the alliteration? Shay, I agree. I like alliteration too. I don't. When Byron named his son Brixton Buxton, that's a little bit of a mouthful. I love them. I love that family. They're wonderful. But I was like Brixton Buxton. It's very hard. You can't say it if you can't say it fast. It's tough. Calling him Eminem. That was my dad was part of a duo in high school basketball called the Eminem Boys. So he would appreciate that a lot. Anyway, speaking of, we have our JPT hat here, but I have another fun thing to talk about or show you real quick. Guys, there's new merch again. Look at us. For the playoffs, we got new dad hats available. We got all 8 teams that are currently left in the playoffs have their hat up here. So if you want to show some love. They even have a little special. So this is pretty cool. We got, if it ever loads, I'll show it to you. If it ever loads, I'll show it to you. Jesus Christ. Why is this taking so long? So we got the patch, and this is embroidered. These are sick. With the little wings for the Guardians, and then the back it says Cleveland, Ohio, Just Punch tickets. So everyone has the you can see it here. It has the city and the Just Punch tickets on the back. Got any big head hats? These are all big head hats, bro. I'm wearing one right now, and I got a nog. I'm wearing a 7 3/4 right now, fam. These are adjustable. They be dad hats. I never do fitteds anyways because people have big heads and I can never fit into fitteds myself. So most of the hats come up into red. Basically, you can get like the burgundy one if you're a Phillies fan. I understand you guys like that stuff. Another one also for the Guardians. We got the Tigers with the whiskers there. We got the black in there for the Mets. We got the little crown. I love this one. This is my favorite design, I think, for Kansas City. It's got the little crown on the P, which I love. Hey, even for you Phillies fans, you crazy Philly fans out there. I even threw a little crack. The crack in the U for the Liberty Bell, brothers. I hope you enjoy. Oh, and by the way, guys, these fit really well. Like, these are not like a set on top of your head, crown of your head type. They're deep. Like, you can pull them down. So those of you that have like get dad hats and they fit like this, These fit really well. These are really nice. They're auto brand. I'm a huge fan, man. These are awesome. I'm only gonna wear these. So go check them out. If you got your team in there, you got the Yankees even. I even made a Yankees one for you guys. Dodgers, San Diego, Mets, Tigers. So go grab you a hat right now. And going into the next round, there's going to be a little bit of a giveaway too for these as well. But I wouldn't count on winning that. All right. Secondly, where did I put it? What the hell happened? Dude, are you serious? All right, I have to go grab something. I'll be right back in 30 seconds. I'm so sorry. All right, we back. It's time for our focus fuel. Energy for your day. 50 milligrams of caffeine per serving. It tastes like candy. It's delicious, guys. Focusfuel.com. Exclamation point focus fuel in the chat. Use code baseball for 10% off your order. You guys see all those neurogum things on TikTok? Better. Focus fuel is better. Hey, referee. Wait, what? Phillies fans getting shit on for saying mean things. Dodgers fans out here assaulting people. Can I put this out here? Fight off your dams. Dodgers fans are also getting shit on for assaulting people. Actually, every single fan who's doing dumb shit is getting shit on. All of them are. Nobody's defending anybody. And they're both being raged against. As a person who's not a fan of either team, I see both sides getting rightfully yelled at and mad at. So, just throwing that out there. What was there a stadium you played in that felt the most hostile as opposing player? Honestly, for me, it was maybe Yankee Stadium in the DS, just because I had chicken tenders thrown at me and told that someone was going to sexually assault my mother and my wife as I walked into the bullpen. So that was probably the most egregious thing I've ever had, to the point where it was so horrible that, like, it pissed me off, yes, but I was like so taken aback that, like, it happened, and the guy got thrown out so fast that I couldn't even, like, do anything. But yes, that happened during the DS. Like, immediately when we walked in, four of us, someone threw an entire basket of chicken tenders at us. How did my Fenway fans treat you? I never had a remote problem with Fenway. I feel like Boston Red Sox fans, though, they reserve their ire for very specific, like, rivalry teams. I played for the Mets and for the Twins and for the A's. We didn't have a rivalry. There really wasn't a big, like, there was no strong feeling. We were like the off week teams. You know what I mean? See yourself as a Twin, a Met? I see myself as all three. Does that mean, like, I see myself? I feel like, okay, it's weird. I feel like I'm a Met as a mature player, as an established player, which makes sense. And I have all but I have so much more memories for the Twins for like non-baseball, not like non-playing memories. Like just being in the Twin Cities and interacting with people, like living there, being a member of the Minnesota, like being part of the Twins territory, I remember the most. So I probably identify, like, if I were to get a number retired, it would be with the Twins, obviously. But like there's a lot of emotion attached to the Mets, right? It's just a lot more. Shay, it's just a lot more. I'm a very emotional, like I'm very not in tuned. I'm very emotionally sensitive, and so like strong emotional reactions to things stick in my brain really heavily. Then the same thing, the A's have a special spot too, because there was a lot going on there as well. But it's only a year, right? So, but I'm a Twin. I am a Twin, and I'm at an A. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. It depends. Is there a team you wanted to play for but you didn't? The Seattle Mariners. Different chapters of my story, yes. Different acts of a 3-act play, guys. Okay, let's talk about some news. Let's get into some news. I'm very excited about this. So big announcements happening. All right, here we go. Let's get into the news. Woo! The news. The Cincinnati Reds have hired Terry Francona as their manager. Who didn't know that until right now? You would think everyone would want to be a Yankee? Well, you would be wrong, sir. I did not. Tito Francona is the next manager for the Cincinnati Reds for at least 3 years, and he will be there all 3 years. They will not fire him before that. Now, a lot of you may think, oh, I thought Terry Francona retired from the Guardians because of health and stuff. I've seen, I just anecdotally through people talking that a year off made a huge difference. So much of it was being run down from the game, and the way that the way the game he needed the attention he needed, and he took a year and he got himself in a really strong position. He's feeling really good, so he wants to come back. Kind of Dusty Baker did the same thing, which I think is wonderful. I think it's awesome. Sometimes you just need a break, and it's one of those things where there's no way, you can't get a year off from your organization and then come back unless there's an interim. So I think this is wonderful. Good for him. Cleveland was killing him. No, being a manager was killing him. I do believe he lives in Ohio too, so that's probably what led to the Cincinnati want. But I don't know if he's from that area, but I've heard that this situation just works out best for him, and they were able to get something done to where it will allow him to continue managing. And guess what? I think Major League Baseball is a much, much better place when Terry Francona is involved, man. So I'm so excited. I'm a huge Tito fan. I'm sad I never got to play with him. I've heard nothing but amazing things. And for them to go straight to Tito to vote in Cleveland, dude, I know that Cleveland fans are like, yeah, well, we haven't won a World Series in 175 years. You have had some phenomenal managers recently. So you do have that. You did have that. Love it. So didn't he play for them? I think so, yeah. So, yeah, good for him. And the Reds got a good one, man. I'd be excited, especially with that young crew. Do not be surprised if the Reds come out higgity hot as hell next year. Imagine. Just imagine, all right? News piece number 2. Farhan, see ya in San Francisco. The new replacement, the new president of baseball operations in San Francisco for the San Francisco Giants is 3-time World Series champion And 4th overall pick behind Timothy Beckham, Buster, Vivian, Posey. Feeling good? No, it's not Vivian. I just call everyone middle name Vivian. It's a stupid How I Met Your Mother joke. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, I just loved that show when I was growing up. Serious Marine, 31 months. Oh my God, thank you so much. Coach Getz, thank you for ordering 2 hats. That's very, very kind of you. Coach Getz coming in with hot orders of hats, guys. We have merch sold. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Draft class of 08, yep, and he retired before me, chat, and we were drafted the same year, even though he was a college draftee and I was a high school draftee. Doesn't matter. So I love this move. I actually am unfamiliar with what Buster was doing before. I know he's a special assistant, and I it's gonna be really interesting, honestly. I'm fascinated by how this is gonna work. But you know, because like Chris Young did it in Texas and he got a World Series, right? But he also like did the commissioner's office for a minute, and then he did like assistant GMing for a bit, and then he got like, he was kind of just like assistant GM, freaking president of baseball operations right out the gate. So Buster Posey, let's see what you got, bro. One of the best catchers, definitely my generation, the guy you had to pay attention to. And you got 3 rings. I mean, I can't really, you know what you're doing. Pretty clear. Pretty clear. In the biggest piece of news of the day, in my opinion, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen happen in the history of Major League Baseball media, and that is Frank the Tank freaking smiling, guys. Look at this. Look at this. NY, Frank the Tank, NJ, Tank 99. Pete Alonso hits a home run, and we get a rare Frank the Tank cheesin' photo. I saw this, and I just like, dude, I got to screenshot this. This is awesome. And let me just be really clear. Everyone else is freaking out around him. Obviously, you can see them. They're all about to fall over the seats or whatever. And he's, you know, he's more tempered. But like what I saw on Frank's face was pure, unadulterated, just like joy, like to where he didn't know where to put it because it was so strong. And I just looked at it. So I just watched him the whole time. I don't know. I get a kick out of that. Get a kick out of that stuff. I know that Frank and I have had our differences in the past, but like just seeing a guy who is known for being the suffering kind of representation of an entire fan base to genuinely be tickled and be like, wow, it actually went out. The magic is in our corner for once, was awesome. And then of course, even with their first loss of the playoffs last night, they still came back again. Like they keep coming back. So it's a special time there. I mean, I'm going to throw the caveat out there. You know, I hope it's enough to take them all the way through. But me, so far, like if from what the Mets have given just this baseball lately, it's so fun. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with how everything's happening. So, but Frank smiles. It's like seeing a real life unicorn that grew their own horn, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. What a guy. What a guy. Tom, are you a Brewers fan, man? I'm sorry. We're going to get into that. So that's my non-playoff news today. But I wanted to parlay this into, let's talk about this moment, all right? So, as we know, Pete Alonso hit a walk-off, or not walk-off. I keep saying walk-off. Hit a go-ahead home run off Devin Williams. Devin Williams, yes, the airbender Devin Williams, who had a 1.25 ERA this year and almost 2 strikeouts per inning. With the craziest changeup in the league. Pete Alonso takes him way back with 2 men on base, 3-2 game. Pete goes oppo, gives it one of these, gives it a yes. We're gonna watch it in a moment. But John Boy did a great breakdown of this, and I want to be really clear. Go watch this full video. So everyone, go watch the full John Boy video where he breaks it down in really good detail. But the whole thing is about how Devin might have been tipping, which he then references that he watched a video that I made recently when we talked about Bednar tipping to see it. And then this is a text message he sent with Plouffe, Trevor Plouffe, another one of my teammates, T1, as I call him, about the differences in hand position in this fuzzy photo. So right here is the changeup, right, where it's more vertical, like that, and then the fastball is like this. So like this and like this, okay? All right, I was like, okay, this is a great breakdown because I think he is doing it. Now, what I think is this is a function of anxiety. So like when you hold your hands here, guys, if you're in a really tense situation, the chances that you get like super tight and like change something slightly are high. That's why I always pin my glove to my body so that I couldn't physically move it closer to me or up or down. It just like needed to be on my belt. I had like places on my body that were my hands are in the same place every time because I can feel it, right? But yes, the John Boy breakdown is great. So John Boy more or less is like, I think Pete had a tip, and then he mentions later in the video, and I'll see if I can get to it real quick. Oh, by the way, Dave Raccanello going crazy in the bullpen. What a guy. He's breaking down the conversation Pete had. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to just bring it up. I have the video, so I'm going to pull it up. Okay. So this is the play in question, I believe. Are we going to be muted here? I don't want to get copyright struck. So this is right before. This is the AB, all right? So here's how the AB breaks down, and let's do a little analysis ourselves. But I'm not going to talk about the pitching. I'm not going to talk about the tipping as much. I'm going to talk more about the approach because I think it was a combination of both. All right. So we got Pete. He's up, first and second. First pitch, change up. As you can see, he is vertical. He throws change up right down the middle. Pete's just like, okay, he walked a guy already. He walked Francisco. You know, make him throw a strike. If we can get the base loaded, we can get the base loaded. So that's smart. I know it's right down the middle, but it's one of the best off-speed pitches in the league. I know a lot of people are like, no, why'd you take that? All right. Now he's more vertical a little bit. Like you can't really tell it would be the 93. So, okay. So he's throwing 93. First of all, that's it. That's probably an indicator. He shook his arm right there too. Not feeling super good today for whatever reason, you know. He did throw the night before. It was much sharper. But he comes back with another fastball, tries to go up. Misses really poorly there. Really bad. So 2-1. So he's like, okay. Missed with 2 fastballs. What to do now? Two-1. He goes back with the changeup, I believe. Yes, he does. And it runs like crazy. I want to see the movement on that. Must have been nuts. So it's 3-1. Okay. We have a 3. Jesus Christ. 3-1 count. Pete's going to see the changeup here. And see what he goes, okay? So right when he goes and gets this sign, I'm like, he's so excited. He's like, change up. I got to go change up. Change is the only pitch I can get. He sets up down and away to get it go down middle. It stays out of the plate. Pete gets it, hits it in the right center. Everyone on the planet goes crazy, including Dave Raccanello. Rack, dude, I love it. Hold on, I want to see that one more time. Come on, Dave. Yeah. His story's crazy, by the way. We should talk about that one day. Huge home run, all right? So, Pete, it's a homer. He might have been tipping. We might have had this. We might have had this. If they had it, then that could have had a big reason for it. But what John Boy talks about is this part right here. So they have a. So this is right before the AB. All right. So they have a mound visit, and then here's right here. Oh my God. I wanted to pause. Wait, is there no pause? Okay, hold on. Get back there. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so let me break this down for you. There's Pete. This is assistant hitting coach, or the head hitting coach is Andy Chavez. Eric Chavez, not Andy Chavez. Eric Chavez. This is Jeremy Barnes. Jeremy Barnes is here on the right, okay? Just so you guys know, I played with Jeremy Barnes all the way up through AA. He was with the Phillies organization. He was a great hitter. He just didn't have a position. So Jeremy's a good homie of mine. Love this guy. And he's talking to Pete. Here's what to look for. Here's how we're going to approach him, all right? So he said change up right there. He goes, change up. So we saw him say the word change up. Also, Iglesias is that Iglesias or is that the... I think that's Iglesias. Anyway, change up. He says the word change up. So everyone's like, oh, he must have seen the change up. Then what's Pete do? Yeah, I got you. So see it out and over. So basically, I reached out and I said, hey, I reached out to someone with the Mets. I said, hey, did you guys have a tip? And he was a pitching guy. So he goes, I don't think we had like a distinct, like, oh, when he does this, it'll be this. And when he does this, it'll be this. I think a couple of guys were like, hey, I'm going to take some shots here and see if I can get this pitch because I think it might be tipped. So what we think is that they weren't certain, but they had an idea. So they were they were just going to go with it. Like, I'm going to go with the AB based on this and see if the change. But what he actually said was treat his changeup like a left-handed slider. So if you see it in the middle of the plate, let it go because it's going to run down and in. But if you see a slider from a lefty out, like on the outside of the box, that's going to come back over and just extend your hand. So right here he goes. Just see it out over and extend your hands. Just take it the other way. He goes, yeah. He goes, yes, do that. Look for it and do that. And he got the exact pitch. So what is luck? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And Pete was prepared for that exact pitch in that count, and he got the opportunity, and he took advantage of it. At the end of the day, it was just really good preparation, and it just happened to work out perfectly. And that is what happened most likely. Now, was he tipping? There's a good chance they had something. It looks like Lindor is spitting on pitches. He's like, I think that's a changeup. But it wasn't like a definitive thing because it wasn't that easy to see, but it was there. And any little thing, that little level of discomfort that he's talking about, because I believe he said, "Hey, I shouldn't have been pitching the game." Someone just said that in the chat, right? Yeah, the interview after the game. In hindsight, I should have been pitching the game. My arm was killing me. He looked like he was in pain, but like it's like you can't just be like, "Oh, game 3, coming in for the save, my arm hurts." Like you can't do that. It's just unlucky. You have to go out and do it. You have to go out and pitch. I would do the same thing. And just deal with the consequences. And he's going to deal with them. But, like, that discomfort might have affected how he was handling his hands because he couldn't focus on it because his arm hurt. Right? Luck is just preparation, meeting opportunity. So, Pete, did he get lucky? Yes. But he was prepared, and he got the opportunity. And then it just so happened to work the way that he wanted it to work. And that is what that reaction was. You saw that reaction. His reaction is, oh, my God, I was looking for that exact pitch. I got it. And then I did the thing I needed to do. And that's really hard to do, guys. Really hard to do. So that was the Pete Alonso walk-off. Was he tipping? Did he have the tip? Not necessarily, but he did get the pitch he was looking for another reason. Good old-fashioned hitting. Isn't that pretty cool? I thought it was pretty cool. You can hear Pete laughing. That is not Pete. That is Pete. That is the dugout. That's the Mets dugout is laughing when he hits it. So, I thought that was wildly interesting. There's another teaching moment that I would like to talk about. Let's talk about it. In yesterday's Phillies Mets game, Bryce Harper came up in the, was it bottom of the 6th inning? Luis Severino is throwing a gem of a game, an absolute gem of a game. All right. We got 2 outs. He gives up a single to Trey Turner. And then Bryce Harper comes up. And here is the AB and hits a 2-run home run. But we'll look at this AB and I want to talk a little bit about it. All right. Bryce Harper, Luis Severino. This is the third AB. If it loads. Oh, I got to press play. Please. Oh my God, this is so annoying. I'm taking this stupid thing off, man. It just won't stop freaking pulling up Siri. I don't know what's happening right now. Okay, so here's Harper AB. What? Freaking buffer. Like, how hard is this? I have gig internet. So we got a fastball away. Ball. What is going on? It's really harsh in my vibe right now, chat. Oh my God. Okay. We're refreshing. Stupid. What is happening? This could not be taking longer. This was so fast when I was doing it earlier. Okay, I'm just going to get... One second. Jesus. Oh, my internet speed is crazy slow. What is going on right now? Am I dropping frames? 2 megabytes down. Dude, I am downloading in kilobytes right now. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna run a little test here. This is no. No, Trev. No. I am too sleep deprived to deal with this today. Holy hell. Netflix? That is not what I'm typing net speed to get a net speed test, and it's going to Netflix every time. Net speed. Holy moly. All right, let's see what we got for download. Yeah, I have a crazy low download speed right now. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting 1 megabyte per second. I guess I can't do this. One moment. Chat. I'm gonna try something else. Hold. Insert dial-up modem sounds here. Yep. Bleep. Bleep. Okay, so my phone is getting 500 down, but my hard-lined computer is getting 1. Bro. All right. All right, hold on. I'm just going to quick restart this PC. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, oh yeah, it just started dropping frames too. I don't know. We're gonna just restart real quick. I got something funky going on. Hold. Okay, everyone, how we doing? Ask some questions about playoffs. What we're going for. It doesn't look like I'm dropping frames now. It just did for a second. Profar trolled a fan? No way. I saw all of that. Yeah. But I'll be honest. Profar trolling a fan or drawing attention to himself is just par for the course. What is it? That's called a Sunday. Machado chirping with another guy on another team is also just a Sunday. Like, it's just the same. It's the same people doing the same stuff. So I'm just like I didn't react the same way because I was like, oh look, it's Profar and Machado. No way. That's crazy. Who would have thought? It's fine. It's whatever. It's just like not surprising. I'm not surprised one bit. Okay, now it's slightly faster. Bro, what the hell is going on? Thoughts on the ump as the Royal game? Yeah, they messed some stuff up. A lot of people were mad about the Jazz Chisholm, and a lot of people were mad about the Trey Turner pickoff. Trey Turner pickoff was not conclusive enough, and I totally got that one. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch any of this video because everything's running so slowly, which makes no sense to me. Okay, anyway, all right, let's continue this again. All right, we're going back to the. Sorry, I can't see who that was. One moment. Oh, cool. This didn't save any of the settings either. Oh my God, dude. Everything's changing. Everything's breaking. Everything. I literally was gone for 2 weeks. You just leave me alone, please, game. Leave me alone, computer. Figure it out. Save my settings, please. Thank you. All right. Here's the pitch. Severino to Bryce Harper. Obviously, it's right down the middle. You can't throw that pitch to Bryce Harper. We know why. No, I didn't see the ump card. If you guys want to give it to me in Discord, that'd be great. Or link it in the chat. Reagan's will be a reset for the Royals pitching rotation? Yep. So I wanted to talk about how we got there. So according to my notes, on the day, this is a third AB, Luis Severino versus Bryce Harper. He threw him 16 pitches total and 3 at-bats, 13 fastballs. Is he a lock or up for debate? He's not a lock. No one's a lock. Oh, Harper? No, he's probably a lock at this point because he's Bryce Harper. The hype that's been around this guy his whole life is very similar to Jeter. And I don't think it matters how he plays now anymore. Something does disconnect? Probably. Everything just keeps disconnecting, breaking in real time. So, Luis Severino threw Bryce Harper 13 fastballs and 3 off-speed / breaking balls. 0 of the off-speed breaking balls were strikes. So, the only strikes Bryce Harper saw were fastballs away. Now, they approached him up and away for some reason. They must see something with him. He's not handling that pitch very well. So, they kept going there. Okay? In this at-bat, that was the 5th straight fastball he threw him. The pitch before that was a 0-2, way too high fastball, and he tried to do it again. And no matter what, Bryce Harper can't beat you. So here's the interesting thing I thought about that decision making. I feel like Sevy does this. He like goes to the well too many times. He's very, very stuck on his game plan going into the game, and he doesn't adjust very well. And so he gets in trouble in his third time around a lot because he just tries to do the same thing again. and he's not as sharp. So when he threw another fastball there, I was like, dude, you or fastball in the same spot. I'm like, dude, you can't bring a fastball down to Harper. He's too good. Now he threw it right down the middle, right? But he's looking for that pitch. He's Bryce Harper. And I just thought it was unnecessary risk. And it was interesting because it was a 13th fastball, 5th in the at bat. So he just threw 5 fastballs away. And the 5th one left middle. So basically what he did was Harper could just slowly move his target smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until he's like, okay, I'm looking for this pitch. And then he got the pitch and hit it because he knew he just was like eliminated everything else. And that was the turning point in the game for me, was when that happened. And then he went to Castellanos, who he had also got to swing at sliders, and he threw 2 sliders in a row. So he just tried to do the same thing again, but he hung him this time. And Castellanos like, you're going to throw me a slider, so if you hang it, I'm going to crush it. And he did. So he hung the 2 pitches. Yes, you can say they're hung, but they were also, he created a situation where that was like, there was a 90% chance that was going to be the pitch. And then he hung it. And that's how you get back-to-back home runs. So the doubt was out of guys' mind. He had been so successful that he tried to go to the well a 3rd time. And now what do you do with that? You still have to mix something in there that they might not expect, even if it's a ball. Take a shot to get a chase on something they haven't seen yet in the game because you're 3rd time in the order, right? So it was interesting. Post the uplink here. 1 run for the Phils. That's crazy, man. We'll check it in a moment. Who do you think wins the series? Mets in 5. Oh, boom! Spiderico. 46 months, thank you. Al Smizzle, 70 months, thank you so much. Went to the Dodgers-Padres game on Friday night. Kids' first playoff in any sport. They absolutely loved it. Dodgers are real trouble this series. Yeah, I think the San Diego Padres are just about the most complete team in the playoffs right now. So, talking a little bit about sequencing, this is a prime example. If you go back and watch these ABs, it's like, here's the pitch right before it. Oh, now we have fast internet again. So we're good. We're back. That's the pitch before, right? 99 up and away. So look, here's the whole AB actually. Let's just go AB, right? Fastball away. Off the plate. Sinker away, right? Then we went away again. Swung a miss. Then we went sinker away again. Foul it off. Closer that time. Then we went fastball up. So, look how he takes this pitch, by the way. Look how Harper takes this pitch right here. He's like, it's going to be up and away. I'm just not going to swing at it if it's out of zone. I didn't. I'm going to have him bring that in. And then what did we talk about the other day? When you go up here and bring it back to the plate, that stuff happens. He eliminated half a plate and all of his off-speed pitches for Harper, who is the best hitter on their team, who is the guy you don't want to beat you, and he let him beat him. And that was the one gripe I had. I was like, dude, you just can't feed fastballs away to Bryce Harper, no matter how big of a hole it is right now. He's gonna adjust to it eventually if you do it long enough. And 13 fastballs in, he hit the 13th one. Yeah, you got to at least move it up and in or something. You never see a guy with 92 stuff do that? Yeah, you do. Bailey Ober does it all the time. But, again, it was just like a high-risk, low-reward situation, right? You just need him to roll over. So, this was, in my opinion, just decision-making. But it was interesting. I thought I would bring it up and talk about it. All right. Where is my document? Because it somehow is not open again. Okay, here we go. All righty. So this was just a little teaching moments breakdowns. I thought we'd break it down. It was a lot of fun. Whose decision is that? It's always the pitcher. Every pitching decision is the pitcher's decision. Every single pitch thrown is the pitcher's fault. Not a single pitch will ever be the catcher's fault. Bailey Ober has a lead extension and is 6'9", though. Severino's 6'6", and has good extension. So that was interesting. That was interesting. All right. We got another sub. iCard game 2 months. Resubbing even though you're taking the Nets in 5. Going for your old team. Still would have rather had Trevor May than Ben Revere. Phillies fan. I gotta, I was drafted by the Phillies. Honestly, they're rivals, man. I gotta be pro Mets. You get it. Frankly, this would be much easier had I not sat in the bullpen in Citizens Bank Field for 2 years. It's hard to feel much love coming from that direction. You know what I mean? Squizzo, why? Jingle Man's reaction to the Vientos home run? Yes, that's exactly what I did too, Shay. I was like, I was up here just screaming, and Boy was in the room below me, and he woke up. Anyway, all right. You guys want to know? Now for our main subject. So, if we want to do some predictions for the playoffs after this, get your fingers ready to ask some questions. Honestly, though, if you want me to go into, okay, let's do this. This is easier. This is way easier. If you have questions and you want to talk about the playoffs, let's do this. Go into the Discord. Go to questions for Trevor and write them here. Questions that you want me to get into after this main subject we're going to get into, okay? Alrighty. It's time. For our main subject of the day. Do you guys know how playoff bonus shares work? Does anyone raise your hand in the chat if that's a subject that you have extensive knowledge on? That is, how are players paid? How are the bonuses calculated for the playoffs in Major League Baseball? Type 1 if you know, type 2 if you don't, go. I know I'm fuzzy. I've watched your previous video about it. Did I do a previous video? Oh, I may have talked about it previously. All right, we don't know anything. Got it. You know what that means? It's time to bust out it's time to bust out Paint. Welcome to MS Paint. We're going to have some fun here. All right. This is how MLB playoff bonuses work. Question mark? So here's how playoff bonuses work. Question mark. All right. So there is a pool of money that is playoff. It's playoff. So, okay. Here's all the revenue from the playoffs. All right. So we'll go here. We'll go rev. We need that to be thicker. Rev. So this is all the revenue, okay, for the whole playoffs. This is all the games. This is TV. This is merchandise. This is gate. This is gate, aka ticket sales, whatever. Okay. This then is broken down into 2 buckets. Okay. We have boop, boop. Look at me. Look at my skills, chat. This is players. And this is owners, okay? Teams, okay? Okay, so there is a revenue split like there always is. Okay? All right. Understood? Understood. What we're going to focus on is the players pool and how this is breaking down. So basically you take all the revenue and then there is an agreement within the CBA that part of it goes to the players, part of it goes to the owners. It's just revenue sharing straight up, as opposed to revenue sharing doesn't really work that way during the season. It's done through expenses, and it's done a different way. So I need this to be bigger. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna open another one. Dude, holy hell, man. Just open another one. I don't need to save it. Just Untitled on the desktop. Save. Oh my, just do it. Thank you. All right. So now we have the players pool. Players. Okay? What the players get is 60% of every game. So they get 6% of all gate/tickets for the guaranteed games in a series. So what that means is I hate paint. I hate paint so much, man. This thing drives me nuts. Okay. So they get 60% of the gate tickets for guaranteed games. So what guaranteed games means is, like, in the best of 3, there's going to be 2 games no matter what. So whatever a sweep would be, you get 60% of those games. Okay, so for a 3-game series, so 3-game, they get the first 2 games. Okay? And vice versa, go on and on and on, right? Same thing. 4 or 5 game series is 3 games, and 7 game series is 4 games. They get 60% of the tickets. The rest of the money, TV, advertising, rest of the ticket revenue, all that kind of stuff goes to the teams. All of the rest of it does. All of it. All of the rest. Okay? So, is it a wonder that every single CBA negotiation, the owners are pushing for more playoff teams and more playoff games? No, because they take, I think at the end of the day, it's like they take 80% of the total money. Okay? When you say it goes to the teams, the owners, the MLB. So it's the owners group and the players. The ownership group, all of the teams make that revenue. You know those same teams that say, we're poor, we're not making any money. They're lying. They all make money. So anyway, that's how it works. Okay. So that's literally all the money the players get. It's negotiated that way, and it's only the guaranteed games for the series. Every additional game. So if a game goes 7 games, the players get 60% of the ticket revenue for the first 4, and then the last 3, 100% goes to the owners. It's just profit. Yes. And that's just the way it is. Zetters, 28 months, and Depth, 41 months. Thank you guys so much. This teammate one's in the chat. Okay. So now we have that. Okay. This creates the shares pool. Okay. Now you guys have heard the term playoff shares, right? So these are called, dude, holy moly, playoff shares. Okay. There are no salaries in the playoffs. Everyone's salary. Okay, the only people paid salaries are employees that are on salary. Players do not make any money from their salaries in the playoffs. That stops on the last day of the season. There's no additional money to be made. Their contract, there's nothing extra unless there's something written in. The team makes the playoffs, you make this bonus or whatever. But that's in the lump sum. That's later anyway. So you're not making your paycheck. Okay? That playoff share pool goes into a big pool of money that is split among all of the teams. So this is split, right? Every team that makes the playoffs. Okay? That amount of money is totaled at the end of the playoffs and is split evenly amongst the teams, and then the teams get breakdowns based on how far into the playoffs they got. So, you lose in the wild card is the lowest amount of money, you win the World Series is the highest amount of money. All right? Total. So, all the players, all the teams get the full pool, and then that pool is divided evenly amongst all the teams in the playoffs. So they each have their own individual team pools. Those pools are divided into things called shares. Okay? A share is amount of money so basically they can create however many shares they want. Basically the amount of money is divided that many times. Divided up that many times. So if your team decides to do 75 shares, 80 shares, because there's a lot of people around the team, you want to give full shares everywhere, that's going to lower the price of one share. Then there's teams that do 40 shares. Everyone who gets a full share is going to get more money, more of the money. So you can see how there would be an issue here. How are these things decided? Well, the players gather in a conference room and they talk about it. They sit and they talk about it. That makes sense? So, here's a prime example. In 2019, in 2015, I had Torrey Hunter. He was, and it's basically led by your most senior player. So Torrey Hunter kind of led the thing. In 2022, here's a good one. Let's just talk about the Mets in 2022. We had Max Scherzer and Francisco Lindor. They're kind of our de facto pitching and position player kind of leaders. And also, they're both on the subcommittee with the Players Association. So they had a really good idea how this whole thing works. So for the most part, especially guys that aren't like tenured or big leaguers or free agents, they kind of just sit in there and they vote along with their veterans. So like the people who are talking, it's mostly five people of like 25 guys in there, that's true for every team. And you get a list of people that are eligible for playoff shares. So like your GM, any GMs, your president of baseball operations, anyone who's in the front office or considered a front office employee, they're exempt from this. They cannot be given a share because they have their own bonus system in the front office. The front offices have their own bonus system based on them. So like they are not on the list. This list includes, but is not limited to, like roving instructors, guys that show up for a week, come up, work through catching or whatever, go back down. Players that like had a cup of coffee, came up for a week or two, or a month or something, or had to fill in for a while, or got called. Like we had Terrence Gore, right, in 22. He'd only been up for a week or two. So like that, you got to factor in, like that's not a full share probably, but it's a percentage. Then you have like the grounds crew, the bat boys, the security guards. They can be ballpark workers. You can do ushers. You can do the cleaning staff, the bus drivers, the pilots, the flight attendants, the kitchen staff, the clubhouse staff, the training staff, the part-time staff. That's like massage therapists, people that don't travel to stay with the team. They're only with you half the time. Things like that. There's a lot of personnel around. The traveling secretary, like all of the logistics people. All of these people you create relationships with over time, and you have to decide who they are. So there's a lot of like names being thrown out where guys haven't even met that person. They're like, I don't know who that is, and it's hard to guess where does the playoff share money come from? Just 60% of ticket sales in the guaranteed games and playoffs. That's where the money comes from. All right, ticket sales. It's only ticket sales. Okay, so here's how it works. You go, okay, everyone in this room who got a full this is how we break it down. This is how the conversation goes. If you don't, like, I don't think I've ever said this. So if you get a full year of service time, basically, if you're up for 172 days and you're on this team, if you're a rookie or if you're a veteran, if you got a full year of service that year and it was on the team that you're in, you get a full share no matter what. So if you were there all year, no matter how much you played, no matter what you did, you could have been the utility guy that played in like 15 games, so he's there all year, right? You could be the backup. You could be Drew Butera and never catch behind Selfie, ever. You're getting a full share because you were there and you did all the work, right? You get a full share. All the coaches get full shares that were there all year. So your manager, all your assistant coaches, your hitting coaches, your pitching coaches, your bullpen catchers get full shares as well. So the Mets probably have Eric Langell and Dave Raccanello full shares because they do so much work. They catch so many bullpens. They play so much catch. They sweat. They're there before everybody. They leave at the end. Like they leave after everybody. They work so hard. They get full shares as well. So these people are like pretty much on the team. All of these people are taking care of full shares. And then you go to the clubhouse staff, who's also with you all the time. So your head guy gets a full share because he's leading the team. Your assistant guy usually gets a full share as well because he travels. And then you have your assistant guys, and you start how to break it down from there. So if you don't want to give a full share, what do? There's a few options. One, you can break it down into fractions. So playoff shares are breaking down the team. Say let's say this is a team. You can do full shares. You can do fractions. So, for example, the guy comes up at the trade. If a guy gets traded to you, like at the trade deadline, and it's just kind of hanging out in there, and maybe gets hurt and doesn't play very much, they get half a share because they're there the whole time. They're there for half the time, right? Most of the time, those guys get full shares because they're big integral parts of the team. But if it's just a guy who's there half time, so like if a guy's there for half the year, you give him half share. You try to go that way. If it's less than that, if a player's been there for like 2 weeks, you can do prorated. So you just basically say, whatever percentage of a full year, that's what they get of a full share. So if they were up for 15% of a full year, they got however many days, which is 15% of 172, then they get that many, that big of that size of the share. So you can go prorated, right? You can do, you can divide shares. So you can say, this group of people gets 2 total shares, and I'm going to let the guy who runs that group of people decide who gets what. For example, grounds crew, right? So you can say grounds crew, you head grounds crew guy, full share. Then you go, okay, you have 6 ground crew guys, or you have 8 ground crew guys. Here's 3 full shares. Divide them up, and we'll let you make the decision. They'll ask you, what do you want to do? And then you give them that information, and we'll put it on you to do, because we don't see what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what the dynamic is. We don't know who's doing what or whatever. That's their job. And we're so far removed that we can't make an accurate decision, so we just let them do it. That's really common as well, okay? So prorated, extremely common, and also you can group the shares, okay? And then another way you can do it, the thing that's most common too for the ushers, for like for security guards and things, you can do lump sum, right? So you can say, we want to give all of the parking lot attendants, the bus drivers and everyone, they all get $500 each. $500. So they just put an allotment, they multiply it by that much money, and they give everyone that much money. So like that's also really common, especially for another group of people that we don't know. We don't know what their day-to-day is like. We just have we have our interactions with them when we see them, right? So like, again, it's like hey, you deserve a little bit of this because part of this was you, even if you're kind of away, like you never actually get to watch the games because you're just guarding the parking lot. You still deserve some money from us doing well, even if it's not a ton. It's like they're just like, you do lump sums for people that aren't expecting to get any money for the most part, which I love. I think it's a great idea. Why not use the text option? It's way more fun to try to draw. Also, the text drives me crazy because everyone it's hard to move and stuff. So you can do that. We did that with the Mets. All right. So you can imagine if you're like, okay, we're giving out 40 full shares to the players and people who played and whatever, and then we have these other 20 shares that are being divided across everybody, and then lump sums kind of come out to another share. So like you're like, okay, total we have 61 shares to divide. We have our lump money. So if you divide the full amount of money that your team's going to get divided by the number of full shares, that's how much money each share is worth. So here's a prime example. Here's 2019. I'll tell you about it. The 2019 players pool amounted here. I'll just put this in actually. So let's erase. That needs bigger. Wow. Can I just, there we go. All right. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to copy and paste this so you guys can read it. So here's an example of how this works. All right, 2019 players pool amounted to 80,861,000, so on and so forth. World Series champion Nationals received 29,100,000 of that grand total. Obviously, they received a little bit more because it's not divided evenly. It's divided based on how far you got. So that's also at a sliding scale that varies. It's kind of a complicated system. And then the American League champion got 19 million. They lost the World Series, so they get the second most. The Nationals awarded 61 full shares. That's pretty middle of the road. Slightly, maybe even slightly above normal, which amounted to 380 grand per full share. So imagine if you gave a bat boy a full share, that is life-changing money. So that's a conversation to be had. It has been had. I heard it. And the Astros gave less shares. Surprise. I'm just kidding. They also issued 14.13 partial shares. Oh, so this is 61 full shares, 14.13 partial shares. Oh, okay. So they got $250,000 each, right? These are for the teams that went to the World Series and lost the World Series and won the World Series. So the winner got 380, the loser got 256. I believe the biggest one as of late was in I think the Astros got like 428 or something in the last one, which is crazy, right? That's awesome. But you got to remember, even at that amount of money, like Max Scherzer, makes way more money in the regular season. So just to put that in perspective, even if he wins the World Series, that money is still not something that's like moving the needle for him, which is awful, like horrible to think about, but like it's not. It doesn't, because they're not making salary. Now, if you go to the wild card now, and there's 12 teams, so this money is even less now. So the division of all the money now is lower. So these playoff shares are going to be lower because there's 2 more teams in the playoffs now. But again, there's more games. So actually it might even out now that I'm thinking about it. Because a wild card's not 1 game anymore. It's 3 games. So this is why the owners wanted more games, is because more games mean more gate, which means they take home more money. And the players still take home the same amount of money, or a little bit more, and the owners get way more, which is why they push for it so hard in the CBA. Does that make sense now? The revenue in the playoffs for them is incredible. It's incredible. So, like, look, if the players' pool amounted to $80 million, how much do you think total was made? Probably around $250 million. Just in the playoffs, $250 million. Just in the playoffs. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. $250 million just in a month. That's insane, right? So it scales, though, like I said. So if you lose in the wild card, I believe in 2022, when we lost in the wild card and the way ours was divided, I think I got a check for like $9,000 when I went home. Owners also praying that nobody sweeps the series. Yep. Though the TV deals are the most lucrative thing still, they're also already built in before the season starts. So like they're already counting on that. So yes, the ticket sales are the thing that is the wild card. They don't know how much money they're going to make off of it. So yes, every single series going the full series is better for making money. Yeah, it was like $9,000 for the wild card. I think in the DS in 19 when we lost that year, I got like 16 grand. Do other sports follow this for postseason payouts as well? To be honest, I'm not sure, but it does. It's probably some variation of this. All right. So let me take you into the room for the second part of this little discussion. Let me take you into the room. So when you walk into the room and make these decisions, basically everyone goes in, you just take a seat around a conference table, and whoever your player rep is for the Players Association, because they're the one that turns in the paperwork, they have a piece of paper, they have a pen, and they just go down the list, say names, guys explain. If some people haven't been there or haven't met that person, then we explain who they are, and someone throws something out. So here's what happened in like 2015. We had Torrey Hunter, and then we had Blaine Boyer. Blaine Boyer wanted to give every single person on the list a full share. Okay, that would have taken us to like 130 full shares. 2015, by the way, we didn't make the playoffs. We were close, though. We were right there at the end for the wild card. So we had the meeting. And Torrey ran it. And I remember Torrey Hunter being like, whoa. And even Joe Mauer was like, that's a lot, right? That's unprecedented. That's double. And he's like, well, we could change the Bat Boys' lives. And then what Torrey said, he's like, well, that would change their lives if there were 60 total shares, but if there's 130, then it won't change anyone's lives anymore. Like that'll more than cut a full share in half. So like by giving out that many, the people who do get them then don't have the life-changing money anymore. So we had to find a balance, and it was a really interesting conversation. It was my first one, so I was just like, who do I go? Like, I obviously Tori won at the end of the day. Won in a way, like, we're not just going to give everyone a full share, but we will give more people shares. And we give out a lot. We were going to give out a ton. Just not 100, and I think it was like 138 or something, which now it would be like 160 because there's like, so many employees. So there's always this like, hey, let's be really generous. And then someone else who's like, but remember, like, this could also change some of the young guys' lives in here as well. So the more we do that, because at the end of the day, there is more value to being on the field for the achievement. Like, that is the most valuable place to be, and remember, keep that in mind. So it's always a push and pull between like wanting to be greedy and generous. But I've been fortunate that every team that I've been on that's done this, 19 Twins and the 22 Mets, did a great job. I was really proud that I was in that room. And then, it's just young guys, and then basically rookies, guys that don't have a full year of service time, they don't get to be in there, which I love. And then, we're talking about their destiny, and they're not in there. And so they just get to sit out in the clubhouse and be like, I wonder what they're saying in there. And I'm fortunate I never had to do that. So, Dodgers fans are so unhinged they respond with violence when someone taunts them. Yeah. Yeah, and Phillies fans do that sometimes too. Mets fans do that also sometimes. Yankees fans do it sometimes, but anyway. So that is how it kind of works. That is how playoff shares works, and that's how it's decided upon. And that's where it comes from. So it's a meeting that happens. A lot of times it's done on the plane. I believe this came up because Mania was talking about how they did it on the plane because, like, they just made the playoffs and they had to go play in the playoffs the next day and they had to figure it out. And they didn't have their meeting beforehand because they didn't know if they were going to make it, whatever. So they just all got on the plane and did it, which I think is hilarious because so many of the people they had to just be like, you guys go 10 seats down there so you can't hear us. And then they just did it. And that's sometimes you got to do that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of players making the decisions who's going to make thousands and thousands of dollars. So, like the Brewers probably are going to get 10 grand each. The Astros are probably going to get 10 grand each, which is nice. It's great. But at the end of the day, the playoffs are like about the experience. And I think it's the most visceral, like you're playing for fun. It's close to playing for fun as you can when you're a professional. And that's what makes it so fun. But, having a little bonus is nice. It can change the lives, especially of rookies. But for the most part, you try to take care of all the people that work in your orbit, especially the people you work with directly. The chefs need full shares. The clubhouse people need full shares. The bat boys you see every day need full shares, or at least high shares. The grounds crew people need full shares. The trainers need full shares. All these people who are there, their first one's there, the last one's to leave. It's a great way to really give them some respect and some acknowledgement for their work. So that's how it works. And thank you for asking that question in the Discord. I appreciate it. Had a really good time researching that. I have all this stuff. What I actually can do, if you guys are wondering, I can give you a link to this little doc because I wrote down all this stuff. So if you ever want to look at it again, but yeah, it kind of varies from time to time or varies from team to team how they like divvy up fractions or whatever. But at the end of the day, you try to keep it so the people that are involved get the highest value, but also as many people are involved as possible too. And it's an interesting balance. And let's just put it this way: the players who tend to be a little more selfish, it comes out pretty good here. I haven't seen it a lot, but I have seen it. Some people being who we thought they were. Cool. So wild that the owners make so much bank here and their plays are rewarded by the players. It is interesting. Maybe a conversation for another day. All right. Moving on. Do we have questions? What's your thoughts on the Twins ownership? Well, I know Jim's not okay, so Shay maybe. Shay knows. Shay's probably following this a little closer. Joe Polad runs the team now, correct? Shay Lars. Shay Lars is our resident Twins expert in the chat room. Oh, John Fisher would likely increase ticket prices. Well, then also they're running it. They can run them through Ticketmaster and stuff. Also, then hikes up the price. Yes, Joe runs the team. I don't think it was an ownership issue. I think it was just a good old fashioned collapse. I genuinely think Joe does it. I think Joe has put them in a position to be successful every year. I just think the guys just didn't get the job done. I think at the end of the day, they were just playing their worst ball at the worst time. It's just that they were just doing the opposite of what the Tigers did, right? But, like 2 months ago, we'd have been like, the Tigers are horrendous and the Twins are good, really good. And then it just flipped. I don't think it's an indictment of, I don't think you need to make any big, like, they're not going to change how they approach free agency or anything. They're not. You're going to run the team the same way they've always run it. World Series predictions. Oh, dude. I'm feeling San Diego a lot. This is the hard one because there's two teams that are hot as hell, San Diego and the Mets, but the Phillies are really complete and really good. I think if the Dodgers move on, though, they don't make it to the World Series. I think whoever moves on from the Mets, Phillies beats the Dodgers. So this is tough. I had the Orioles going to the World Series. And unfortunately, it's the Yankees versus 3 AL Central teams, and we know how the Yankees do against AL Central in the playoffs. But I would love to see the Guardians go. But if we want to talk about like maybe the most lit, like crazy, hyped up matchup there could possibly be, if it were Dodgers Yankees, it would be the big most watched World Series ever. It would be insane. However, I mean, all we hear about is Judge and Ohtani all the time. So like, but then again, like, does the MLB want it to be like Cleveland, San Diego? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just the Dodgers starting pitching just because Yamamoto is not stretched out. Flaherty's their most consistent guy, and he lost his game. Is it Bueller tonight or tomorrow? Does baseball need that series? I mean, they'll say they do. They don't. I don't think they do. I think that the baseball is dying thing is just kind of overblown as well. It's Bueller. See, like, I feel like every guy in the Dodgers rotation right now they're in the, okay, let's try to get through 5 with them. Everyone's saying that. Like, let's just get them through 5 and then try to get to the bullpen. Like, you can't run a whole playoffs like that because the Tigers are kind of doing it. It's just, you will run out of gas. There's too many games. It's too long. You got to have like 2 guys you can rely on, and they don't have really any. Because they're good. They have talent. Yamamoto's very good. He's just not stretched out. He's going to throw 3 innings every time. It's like the Mets saying, "Oh, we'll lean on Senga." Senga threw 2 innings. It's King versus exactly. And then Michael King is cooking. They got King and Darvish, and now Musgrove's out. But like, and they got the bullpen, dude. Their bullpen's good, man. Oh my God, Jason Adam and Scott and Suarez is just nuts. How do you feel about Skubal? He's nasty, man. The problem is they have nobody but Skubal right now. But it just doesn't give me confidence. I just think the most complete team that is best positioned is San Diego. Probably they're the best positioned right now. And I'm just going on Yankees history, but I think the Guardians are the better, are the more consistent team at the moment, and they have the better bullpen than the Yankees, but the Yankees have the better ceilings of players. So I'm trying to envision a world where like the Royals eliminate the Yankees, and I can't, but I could be wrong. So yeah. Can't go a baseball thing without a Trevor mention. Yep, you can't. I have a thing from Aaron Gleeman when they were doing the end of the season Q&A with Joe Pollard and Derek Falvey, and all that he said was displeased with the responses. I have a link if you want to read it. Lots of non-answers. Yeah, it's probably because they don't know. I don't know. People want they want justice for a collapse like that, and they're like, I don't know how to answer your questions right now because I need to think about it. Right? Mets bullpen, same. A little bit. As someone who was in it, I understand. I get it now. So to answer your question in a very long form, if I had to guess, oh God, I'll guess something random. I'll say, I don't want to say this, but I'm Mets Yankees Subway Series. Let's go, baby. Let's go. That's my prediction. Let's go. Subway Series. That'd be pretty lit. It'd be pretty fun. At the end of the day, your entire team. Yes, you need heroes from all over the place. Yeah, 100%. Hundo P. All right. Should we do? This is how I would pitch to Aaron Judge. Hold on, my report needs to load. You guys want to know about Aaron Judge? This right now is Aaron Judge versus pitches like me. We did this for Shohei Ohtani last time. We're going to do it for Aaron Judge this time. I'll see if I can actually zoom in a little bit. How do I do that on this? Oh my God. Can I zoom? How do I zoom on this browser? There we did it. Hey-o. All right. Here's how he hits against pitches that move like mine overall. Fastballs, 340. Yikes. Sliders, 280 with a 523 slugging. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, but changeups, 235 with a 195 average against, slugging 765. Yikes! This guy hits everything really hard. However, this is probably your best chance is right on right changeups. Let's look at where. This is overall, remember, guys. So we have Nitro. This is where he hit everything the hardest. Pretty much just, everything. This is fastballs. He hits them. Sliders, he hits them. If they're middle over the plate, if you can get them down in the way, you might be okay, unless he's cheating. But you need to it's got to be over here if it's a slider, or it's hammered. Changeups the same way. You might want to try to stay in this spot with your breaking stuff and off-speed stuff, and maybe stay here with your fastball. So what we're talking about is a glove side tunnel. You're going to try to stay up and away to him. I have faced him twice. We will discuss that in a moment. And let's see where he misses. I was right. The heaviest miss is up and away with fastballs. The heaviest miss on sliders, down and away with sliders. And the heaviest miss with changeup is down and away. All right, so you want to stay here with anything that's slower than a fastball. You want to stay here with anything that's faster than a fastball. Unless he's staying out there, he fouls off he goes out here with the slider, fouls it off. Maybe you take a shot up here with the fastball. For the most part, you stay on this outer lane. We call that outer rail, and we try to stay out there. Then we have other things like, where does he chase? He chases off the plate, so sweepers, you might be able to get him, and he chases below the zone. You can get him there. You want to stay below with the changeup and down middle. Not down and in, down middle. Okay? And he does not chase fastballs. So, if you notice, he misses in zone here, but does not chase. So this is the interesting thing about throwing him fastballs. You have to be in the zone because he won't go with you. So having this much swing and miss, but not swinging above the zone is not a good thing for me. All right? So, you're going to notice one big thing. We talked about this with Shohei. It's very similar with Judge. The difference between being 0-1 and 1-0 with Aaron Judge, most people, big difference. Aaron Judge, massive difference. So here's first pitch. He's generally pretty patient, generally. Doesn't swing first pitch a ton. So this is like hundreds of pitches, and he's swung at 5 in each count, right? He's hit every single changeup hard, though. So So maybe not first pitch changeup. I'd probably be fastball or slider. That's what I've done in the past. It didn't work out, but I have done it in the past. So we have slider down and away. It's generally okay. He hits it sometimes, but you might be all right first pitch. You might roll it over, or he might chase it a little bit and swing. So I either go slider down and away, fastball up and away. Got to be in the zone. If you're 1-0, it's going to be bad. If you're 0-1, you might be okay. All right. Let's look at Chase. He's chased 0 fastballs out of the zone. First pitch. Got to throw a strike. He's chased a few sliders. These are probably sweepers because they're a little bit higher here. He's chased a few of those, but not a lot, and he's chased a couple changeups. So he's not going to chase a fastball. So if you're going to throw a fastball, you got to throw for a strike. And he doesn't hit any of them softly, so I would give up on that. All right? This is when you are ahead. So this is if I get ahead. So if I'm 0-1, sliders, he's hit 1 hard. And he's been generally pretty good. But again, none of these were hung. So if you hang it, he's going to crush it no matter what. It doesn't matter. So make a good pitch, though. Slider might be good if you're up 0-1. Fastball, you're playing with some fire here. But again, this is the spot, and none of these were thrown there. So he does not miss, but he does miss sliders. I would stay with slider. I'd possibly come back with a changeup. So say I get ahead. Fastball up and away. He fouls it back. So 1. What I'm going to try next is that slider down and away. If I don't get the slider down and away, that's when the changeup comes into play. I can either go slider down and away or changeup down, but I'm going off speed next pitch. You're not going to feed him fastballs. Okay? He also chases. So that doubles it up for me. So if I want to throw a fastball, he'll miss him in the zone, but he also might just chase it out of the zone because you're ahead. Right? So you can make a mistake, you can yank it, he still might go for it. Changeup's the same way. You can get it down. He's probably not going to hit hard. He hit 1 hard here. Excuse me. Whoa. One thing he's not going to do is hit anything soft. So I pretty much, basically this bottom row right here, I just completely eliminate from my head with Aaron Judge. He's just not going to hit it under 105. If he hits it, it's going to be hit hard as hell. Just hope it's on the ground. Tip your cap, right? Say it goes 1-1. Now, how does this change a little bit? Changeup still struggles a little bit. So like the mid counts, changeups are great. So I would go changeup if I'm 1-1 or from 0-2. I'd probably go changeups either way. I'd back up that third pitch. It's probably going to be a changeup no matter what. Or if he has looked bad on an early breaking ball, if he chased my breaking ball, maybe I go fastball up and away again because he's got a lot of miss rate. Even count. So if it's 1-1, fastballs are actually pretty good. You just got to get it up. If you leave it middle across his thigh, he crushes it. So I'm thinking, okay, 1-1, my fastballs need to be up. My sliders need to be down and away. But changeup, I have a little bit of room. So I might go changeup if it's even. Okay? What if I'm behind? What if it's 2-0? What if it's 2-1? What if I threw a first pitch ball? Try to throw a slider because I'm afraid. If you have a sinker, you can hit him backdoor. Yes, because he doesn't want to chase fastballs. I don't have a sinker, though. So, that's not part of my game plan because I don't have a pitch that does that. Other people have, though. You've noticed they've been trying to sinker him backdoor a little bit. The problem with that is if you miss and it runs back, because it's moving arm side, the chances that that pitch is moving towards the middle of the plate. Remember, we always talk about that. You want most people, your default should be, I need to move, all of my pitches' movement profiles need to be away from the center of the zone. Sinkers are risky because they move towards the center of the zone. Okay, so you have to have really good command. Guys with good command are doing that. But yes, you can backdoor them. Okay, but if you're behind, wait, is this the right? Oh, this is just this here. Hold on. It's going to be generally the same. Yeah, it is. But he's even worse against changeups in his career. Okay. So anyway, back to the behind. So chat, based on what we know, which pitch am I not throwing him if I'm behind? Which of these pitches is just completely out of the question? Type in the chat. What the hell is this? This is his damage on fastballs when he is ahead in the count, when the pitcher is behind, right? So in 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, 3-2 is even technically, that's what it's considered. When a pitcher gets behind him and throws him a fastball, there's nowhere to throw. There is nowhere safe. There's nowhere safe. Nowhere. You have no options. None. Okay, so just really quick, I want you to know the red out here doesn't mean he hits it, because Woba also is walks, right? Woba also includes walks. So basically, those are pitches that he just takes, which also are red because they contribute to his Woba, if that makes sense. So like these are also, like if this were blue out here, it would be he swings at it. He doesn't chase any of these. None of these were chased. None. Zero. He's chased 0 fastballs. Maybe one here. He chased 1 here, this yellow spot. 1 fastball. 1. And there's blue right here. That's it. That's nuts. He has hit everything else hard as hell. Okay? The only option you have, and then sliders that are hung. So if you're in 2-0 count and you throw a slider and you're like, this has to be a strike, the chances that you hang it are much higher. So what is Aaron Judge doing? The counts where guys get behind him. He is hammering every single mistake is hammered. Like all of them, 100% of the time, he hits a mistake. So you have to be even finer. So like, look, there's blue here for slider when you're behind, right? And miss right here. So if you can throw a slider here when you're behind, that's literally all you got. This, or possibly a changeup if you have a really good changeup, right? If you're Devin Williams, if you're Jason Adam, if you're, Tarek Skubal, if you're, any of these guys, if you have a good changeup, you can throw one too when you're behind. I would probably throw mine too. I'm really confident that I can get it there. But you have to throw a slider here, or you have to throw a changeup here. Those are your only options. Those are my only options. Now, when you're a hitter and I only have 1 or 2 options, makes it much easier to hit, right? So this is Aaron Judge's bread and butter. This is terrifying. This is horrifying. Does he chase? Not really. Does he chase? Not really. Does he chase? A little bit in, but not really away. So he doesn't chase either. So you have to be in the strike zone, and he hits every single mistake, and that's how you have an 1100 OPS. So if I'm behind, I need to walk him. Full stop. If I feel really good that day and I just barely missed and the first pitch I threw was it was really close, it just wasn't a strike, I'm still okay. I'm still going to attack him. But if I'm feeling a little erratic, I just need to pitch around him. Right? So Aaron Judge is as clear as day. You need to be ahead of him. And what happens to him in the playoffs? No one gets behind him ever. They either they pitch around him and walk him, so he never gets a pitch to hit, or they get ahead of him and they command the zone really well. And he just can't, he's just not getting pitches to hit, right? Soto is going to get him more pitches to hit. But this scenario isn't happening very often in the playoffs, and that's why he struggled as of late. Now, it will happen eventually. But I've never seen anybody in the history of baseball take advantage of mistakes more consistently and with more juice than Aaron Judge. All right? So, I have faced him twice. One time he flew out, and this was the last time I faced him. So I missed with 96 here, down and away. And so, like I just said, I'm behind. I'm going to try a changeup. And I made a mistake. So I told you how I would pitch to him. Don't get behind him. I got behind him. I made a mistake when I was behind. What happened? I got. And that's Aaron Judge. Sad. All right, we got some love. Little getting a little PTSD. A little bit. Excuse me. So yeah, there you go. Not a horrible change in most hitter. Yeah, at least you could do is just take it. Now up and in, you don't want to throw a high changeup, but like that's the only high changeup I ever gave a homer up on. That's the first high changeup I've ever given up a homer on. Yeah, barely got out. He hit it off the freaking handle too. The guy's a monster. Is that where you want to throw a change? Absolutely not. It was a horrible mistake. But also, it was such a bad mistake. Like I missed by so much that it should have been like it could have been mishit, right? Because changeups are down. You're trying to see those down. So, and I threw a lot of high fastballs. So he just got me, man. Because it's 32nd home run of the season. I believe this was in September. Yeah, this is the year he hurt his toe, I think, or no, 2021 he was hurt for a while. So yeah, it was just a mistake. But again, like I just said, you're behind, you make a mistake, he takes advantage of those every single time. You just can't make a mistake. You get into situations where you cannot make a mistake to Aaron Judge. You cannot do it. And I did. And that's what happened. It's okay. If Tani, the greatest player ever, if not, where does he get ranked? There's the jury's still out on that one, man. I think we're gonna have to make that distinction at the end of his career. But he's making a case. I would say he's in the running. Were you trying to throw it now low? Yeah, 100%. Chat, this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be here. Is that McCann? Look where McCann's target is. We had discussed this. We discussed this before. It was he's like, get it down. He even tapped his glove. And it just didn't work. It's called sucking. If you don't like it, play better. That's what we always say. All right? Cool. Great. Aaron Judge. All right. Let's check our nasty pitches. Do we have enough nasty pitches, or we're going to put it off for one more week? Nastiest pitches of the week. Guys, we need more. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would add pitches, but the thing is, I don't want to know which ones you're giving me. So if you guys have nasty pitches from the playoffs, please give them to us. I try to look for like 15 to 20 before we go over them on stream. It's in the Discord, SMA Sport Discord in the chat. If you're not in there already, please, thank you so much. You're the best. We have something in general chat. What do we have? Cool. So that's Nasty's pitches of the week right here. Go put them in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot. All right. And then I wanted to talk about a specific sequence that was so interesting to me. Actually, let me see if I can find like an article breakdown. Mookie Betts. So a lot of you guys might have seen Mookie Betts intentionally walked. Okay. So you guys may have not have seen this. So we have Adrian Morejon in game 1 of the NLDS against the Dodgers. It is 2-2 in a 5-4 game in the 4th inning. Right? He just threw a wild pitch splitter. Okay, so he's yanking the crap out of it. He's yanking the shit out of it. He's throwing it down in the righties. He threw a wild pitch, a run scored. It was 5-3, a run scored. Now first base is open. Mookie Betts is hitting. So he's a lefty, very clearly. Mookie Betts is a righty. And this is what happened. He comes set. Time is called. He steps off. Morejon is very, very confused. Niebla is like, wait, what do you want me to do? You want me to? Oh. So they intentionally walk Mookie Betts with 2 strikes. to load the bases for Freddie Freeman. So let me explain the thinking here. Here's the thing. Morejon, splitter, all over the place. That's his best pitch against righties. So I understand it, okay? So they have a not great matchup. The bases were loaded. They would have walked. So basically, they would have walked him if they had the base open, but they didn't. So once he threw the wild pitch that opened the base, now we can get the left on left matchup, even though it's Freddie Freeman, right? Even though it's Freddie Freeman, we can get the left on left matchup. That makes sense. That's a baseball play. I get it. Now, the difference here is, this is the thing, as a pitcher, I would lose my goddamn mind if my manager came out and said, you have 2 strikes on a guy, walk him because I don't think you can get him out. I don't think you can throw one more strike and get him out. And I'm a big fan of Mike Shildt. I think he's a great manager. I think this was egregious overmanaging. And there is nothing you could do to show less confidence in your pitcher than that. Nothing. No matter what your reasoning is. This kid, this guy, no longer thinks you think he can get anybody out. And platoon splits, matchups, are simply not important enough to do this type of shit. It's the playoffs. People have to go out and they have to do the job, and every situation isn't going to be perfectly set up to be successful. Sometimes you're just going to have to rise to the occasion, and guys, your team's going to have to do that if you want to win. And of course, what happened in the rest of this inning? Dodgers take the lead, right? So it backfires. And so now we have this weird play, this weird overmanaged play doesn't work out, and now this kid has no confidence. Okay? Mike Shildt tossed the book aside Saturday and strategized differently. No, I would argument that this is actually to the book. I would say this is more textbook than not. I don't think it was that crazy. I think it's just taking it to the extreme. I think that we're playing matchups too. We're too obsessed with matchups. It's the 4th inning. You have 1 out too. It's not like there's 2 outs. There's 1 out. Right? He doesn't just have to get Freddie out. He's got to get 2 outs, and he had a guy 2 strikes. What if it did work? We'd be saying he's a genius? Maybe. But it's like, yeah, but that's like saying, oh, you know, you put $1,000 on 33 red and roulette, and then it hit. Are you a genius? Because there's so many variables at play that like you just can't. This is not a predictable enough situation to make this many decisions based on it. You know what I mean? It's not like if we can do this, then we increase our chance to be successful by 40%. It's like you increase your chance to be successful by 5%. And you're increasing the risk by way more than that. It's way too risky to do, in my opinion. Way too risky. You're asking for trouble there. And it's Freddie Freeman, right? It's not like you're not going from Mookie to the pitcher. So it's like, so for me, I was like, dude, I get it. It's like playoffs, like, let's do this crazy play. It's like bringing 5 infielders in. Have you ever seen 5 people in the infield work? Ever? No. It never works. Ever. Because guys just have to make plays. Like at some point, you can't finagle. You can only finagle so far. So I was like, I understand the reasoning. I understand why you're going for it. But in my opinion, you are increasing your risk. Unless the numbers are egregiously different. Unless Freddie Freeman is hitting 100 against lefties. But he's not. I know that for a fact. He isn't. Unless he's got crazy platoon splits. Or unless Morejon has crazy platoon splits, which I believe he doesn't. So it's like, not every lefty is great against every lefty. It just feels, you know. Now, but then again, I could be completely wrong, and if that is the case, I will swallow my foot. Okay, I will eat it. 100 versus lefties with 20 hits and double plays, yeah, then I'm doing it. Like, yes, if Freddie is rolled into 15 double plays against lefties with the base loaded that year, and that's just his kryptonite, then yeah, I'm doing it. But it's got to be like that. It's got to be that guaranteed for me. And it's, again, I'm an ex-player. I played recently. So, like, I know that the way that you win at the end of the day, the teams that win have the most players that step up and get the job done when they're asked to do it, even when their backs are against the wall. Even if they're in a not very advantageous situation and they still figure out a way to get it done, you need that. You need that. And I think that's why we see things like this not work in the playoffs as much. Because we're managing based on sample sizes, and there are no sample sizes. Who wins the Mets series? Mets. Boom. So, and then I don't, I know that when I saw Morejon pitch last, he didn't throw a sinker, but he has a good splitter. So I don't know if he throws a sinker. Everyone throws a sinker now. So there's a lot of people with sinkers that I didn't know have sinkers. So he might have one. But like when it comes to Freddie Freeman, he's like top 3 guys bat to ball skills with like just his ability to hit the ball hard and avoid that, because he's not going to overswing and roll over. Like he's not a guy who's just going to roll over. No, Trevor, don't jinx. Jinxes aren't real. Nothing I say matters. Save it. Nothing I say or anyone else says matters. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen the way it's supposed to happen, and that's the way it works. He throws a sinker, so it's like 99 or 100. Is it only a sinker? Does it seem like there have been a ton of back-to-back jacks? There were a lot yesterday. What do we have? Did we have 3 different back-to-back jack situations yesterday? All right. Okay, I need to know about this Dodgers fan situation. Okay, what's a link? I need a link to the story, or should I just type it in? Should I just type in Dodgers fans? That's so funny. It just pops right up. Padres, Dodgers delayed over fans throw objects. Shut up, Disney. Okay, reminder. Hostile environment. Mike Schill, it was a bunch of dudes that showed up in front of a big hostile crowd with stuff being thrown at them and said, we're going to talk with our play. We're not going to back down. We're going to elevate our game. We're going to be together and take care of business. Tatis, who's shown wagging his tongue at fans from the dugout and mocking them with fake tears from right field, seemed to be the least bothered among his teammates. Definitely wild, but at the same time, it's a good environment for baseball, though people get carried away a bit with their emotions. It's good back and forth. So that is the thing, guys. Remember, yes, I'll say there is no space. There is no space in the world for throwing things on a field, doing anything physical, ever. However, you don't get to complain as much when you are actively egging it on right and left fielder. Like actively trying to troll. If you're actively trolling and there's response to you, you shouldn't be very surprised. So I don't think that was taken. I'm just saying they still shouldn't do it. You should never throw anything, but if they want to keep jawing and get louder and louder and louder, they can do that. So it's like, I don't have that much sympathy but if you're just sitting there trying to play the game, right? You're not actively like trying to get people to do it some more. Then what do you think is gonna? We're humans. Like what do you think how do you think humans who are riled up and pissed off are gonna react when you just egg them on? Like so. But again, I got to remember, I mentioned this at the top of the show. It's the same people that have the same thing. Like, it's all like Jurickson Profire has 4 or 5 of these things every single year. Every single year he's in the center of something. It's just the way that he is and how he plays, right? By all accounts, he's a great teammate. It's just one of those situations where you love him if he's on your team and you don't when he's not. He plays the villain role a little bit. That is good in some situations, and sometimes it gets tired because it gets overblown. Sergio Romo did that. He'll tell you. He does it on purpose. Lindor does it a little bit sometimes. Or he did when he was younger, right? Donaldson would do it. AJ Pierzynski, though I did say that to him once. He didn't like that very much, and I actually feel bad about it, but he did. He took the villain role at times because it worked. Logan Morrison did it. Some guys just love doing that. They like being the villain. It helps. Yeah, and then they're drunk. They're drunk, and it's a very, very emotionally charged game. But again, don't throw shit on the field. Because at the end of the day, you guys just want to watch the game. Like, at the end of the day, the game, like, if the game stops, then now no one's getting what they want, right? So, Winker, yeah, and he knows. Winker knows too. Like, Winker, he owns it. He owns that. Like, Naylor does it. Though I like how Naylor does it more than anybody. But Naylor did it too. Like these guys just choose to do this, choose to talk a little bit. Michael Harris does a little bit. Like, it's not really an indictment of them as people. It's just the way that sometimes it gets going. Sometimes I wanted to do it. Sometimes I wanted to, but like, it was just one of those things. Like, it's just not my style. I wanted to be the guy that was getting it done. Like, someone flexed on me and then I could respond. I wanted to be the one responding. I'm never the one starting, but I would love to be the one responding. So, Bryce Harper's the king of the villain role. Not anymore, but for a long time he was. Papelbon's another great example. And sometimes it comes out that maybe they're not the most liked people in the clubhouse that you would think. So it just depends on what side you're on, but that's just the way it works. But yeah, he had them riled up, man. So 24 security guards, 3 beer cans lying on the right field, warning track near Tatis. So people are throwing their beers. I've seen this happen in Yankee Stadium. Remember this happened between the Guardians and the Yankees where Miles Straw almost climbed up into the stands. Remember that? Bauer, yeah. Grant Balfour, yeah. His was more like being a psycho. Like, internally, like yelling at himself. He didn't mean to like do it at anybody, but yeah, there was a couple times where he was just like, he just saw red. So some people just get pissed off, man. And like Flaherty kind of engaging was another way of firing his teammates up. So like, there's also this element, right? Someone comes at you, you can't fully ignore things because your teammates see that. So there needs to be an element of, I'm not going to take that, and we're trying not to throw at people all the time, right? So there has to be, I don't know. I like it when if someone's going to say something, there needs to be back and forth. People just taking stuff, your teammates see that. And so I think Flaherty saw, hey, I need to match this energy. And fans hate, the opposing fans hate each side. So like, mission accomplished. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But is it fun? Is it fun to watch? Let's hope no one gets hurt, but is it fun to watch? Let's do it. I love it. No other sport as fans approximate the field plays baseball. They're part of the game. I'd say that football, aka soccer also has these issues, though. Like, European soccer has these same type of things happen constantly. But remember when Profar walked off against the Nationals after he'd been intentionally walked, or Machado was intentionally walked in front of him or something, and then he like ran towards their dugout and was yelling at him at the end of the game. Like, I'm like, dude, I understand, but like, he just there's an element of having to get the last laugh with him, and that shit is tired to me. Kind of like, remember Jose Bautista with the roof net door thing? Like, he hit the home run, they threw at him. It was over, and then he slid in. He just kept it going. I was like, at that point, I was like, dude, of course you're going to get cold clocked. You just kept it going. It could have been over. You got hit once. You pimped a homer. They didn't like it. Sure, you don't like being hit, but like, it's over now. It's just done. You can move on. He decided to keep it going and retaliate again, and then he got smoked, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, if you want to keep going, it's just going to keep going. And if it gets out of hand, you're kind of part of that if you keep going. You got to take a little responsibility. So, it's Profire's just a troll. I love it. He is a troll. And again, it's just one of those things like, there's a time and a place, right? Right now, it's great. There's other times where you're like, dude, it ain't that serious. We don't need a troll right now. And he has a tendency to do that too. So sometimes I'm like, who cares, right? Stroman had some of this stuff happen too, right? For a while. Now he's chill now, but like it was very much on purpose as well. Same thing. Like just use this stuff to your advantage. Yeah, Petco's going to be crazy. Actually, Petco's going to be crazy. City's going to be crazy. I'm really excited to see those two games. So, all right. Guys, we're about to head out. We got to get out of here. I got to go say hi to my son because I miss him. I miss him so much. But there's anything else we want to go over for the show today? I covered everything I wanted to cover. The playoffs have been nuts. The walk-offs have been crazy. The Mets coming back constantly has been nuts. I mean, they're the comeback kids. They're getting that moniker, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I believe we have Ranger Suarez versus Quintana? Oh, no, Manaea. So Suarez, Manaea tomorrow versus Buehler. Buehler versus King. And then tonight we have Rodon and Cole Reagans. And holy lefties. Who's starting for the Tigers? Scooble? You ever intentionally hit someone? I have, yes, I did. Shrieks, it's Scooble versus who's throwing for the Guardians? Is it why am I blanking? Guards, Tigers, quick thoughts. Tigers have to win today. Oh, it's Nola versus Manaea? Oh yeah, Nola. Oh, so Rangers gonna throw game 3 or 4, and then they'll have Wheeler for 5. Got it. Sorry, Scooble versus Boyd. Matt Boyd. Oh, my guy Boyd. By the way, guys, I played catch with Boyd when he was getting ready. It was the last time I played catch with a baseball with Matt Boyd. So maybe he gets some juice from that, or maybe I jinxed him. So I can't jinx him because nothing I do matters. We talked about that. So Matt Boyd versus Terry Scooble. I would say I'm fairly confident, unless Boyd is out of his mind. He's thrown very well. But I'm very confident that if Scooble's dialed in, that's a Tigers W, and they can tie it up tonight. I think Cole Reagans, the Yankees don't handle lefties well. Cole Reagans he's dialed in too. He's thrown really well lately. He threw really well in his first game. I'm looking at 2 series to be tied up there, and we're gonna have all 3 series tied at 1. That's what I got. That's what I think is gonna happen. And do you know what? God, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Have I met Frank the Tank? Not yet, man. We're gonna do a YouTube video together. We've been trying. We weren't able to line it up last time I was in New York. There's so much going on. So, but I've actually been DMing him a little bit and telling him that I watched his video on the A Stadium and I loved it. So anyways, all right, guys. That is it for the show today, guys. Just so you know, we will be back here every single Monday, so we will be checking back in Monday. Don't forget, exclamation point merch. We have all of the hats up. Not just the JPT. We have all 8 teams. Maybe I can just pull it up again for you real quick, show you, for those of you who didn't see it earlier. We have the dad hats are available because I am a dad. And also, dad hats are just comfy. This is a very comfy hat. I would highly recommend it. Let me just show these off to you real quick. This JPT one is ready. I know it looks like the NPR logo. Don't at me. But we have, if you go to the hats page on the merch site, we have the Guardians version, the Phillies version, the Yankees version, the Dodgers, the San Diego Padres, the Royals, the Mets, and the Tigers. So we have all the playoffs team here have their own little hats. It says the city in the back with Just Punch tickets. Cool little colorways. Like the Tiger ones is cool because it's got the little whiskers next to the Just, which I thought was cool. Nick, gifting a sub to Porky Horror. Porky Horror, enjoy it. We got the Dodgers got the little red travel lines there on the S, which I love. We got the pinstripes on the Yankees hat. Pretty sweet. And we got the Liberty Bell crack here on the U, on the punch. And we got the wings for the Guardians, man. These are just, they're cool hats, man. They're really cool. So go check them out. They're $27. They'll be there in a couple days. I'm telling you, $27 for this hat. It's very, very nice. Like, it blew me away with how nice they were. So I love these. I think they're great. I designed these myself. I thought you would enjoy them. You can get them in all kinds. You can get them in light gray. You can get them in navy. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Come on. Go check it out. All right, guys. Go check it out. Ted, I'm fat. 77 months. Zetters, 38 months. Thank you, guys. Welcome back. I will see you. Is it fitted? It is. Adjustable. Bad hats are adjustable. So, one size fits all. They are adjustable, and they fit very, very large noggins, as I am wearing them, and I have a very large noggin. All right? You guys have a great rest of your evening, day. We're going to all watch baseball. Join the Discord. I'm going to be, with the games, I'm going to be popping into Discord just talking about the games a little bit. I'm going to try to, be in there live. I'm trying to be in Discord more often these days. So, if you want to hang out in there, I might be in there. But I'm also going to be, I'm on baby duty in about 40 minutes for the rest of the day. We're going to watch movies and the games and stuff. So, what a game. What a life. What a playoff so far. Really looking forward to more baseball tonight. And I'm actually sad when these series are over because there's going to be less games to watch. So enjoy the playoffs. Drink your water. Be safe. And give your loved ones a hug today, guys. Don't forget. Love them. Love you guys. I hope you have just simply the best day for the rest of your day.